All right, well, we're going to get started. This is the NPL team manager meeting. We're going to go over some of the stuff that's common to all team managers, and then we'll go over some stuff that's particular to the US Club. We have Marisa Weissel on, who's our registrar, who's going to be able to handle almost every admin thing that you need, or myself. I'm Jennifer Hampton. I am the chief of staff for the youth side. And I work full-time by day, so you guys can reach out to me anytime you want. Marisa is part-time, but she gets back to you pretty easily. So anything admin related, you can reach out to us. We've got some new initiatives with the club, so I just wanted to go over what Torment FC's goals are for the year, as articulated by John Millerese, who is our technical director, and also the USL League One coach. Had a staff meeting, and I was going to share some of his slides, talk about the differences between our governing bodies, and then talk about the team manager duties, and then open up the floor for Holly. All right, so these are the values and the principles of play and the non-negotiables that start from the pro club and come all the way down to us. And so in addition to learning soccer, they're going to be working on their core values, developing the person, and that we expect the players and the coaches to abide by them. So that's the excellence, integrity, and class. And then principles of play. We've always been known as a club that we all play the same way, so that if a kid has to move up, a kid has to move down, a kid has to sub in, they all know the systems of play. And so all of the NPL coaches are going to have very similar practice sessions. They're going to play the same way. And then they're going to be, then also the pro staff will be out at the fields a couple times a week as well. So the NPL boys program should all look the same. The compact defending, the quick ball circulation, dynamic attacking, that should all look the same to people who have been around for a while. I think some of the areas that we're going to be working on that might be unfamiliar is the making sure that there's a plan for every moment in the game. And so at the academy level, while we're just working on playing up and out of the back, they're going to be taught, what happens when they have possession, when they're out of possession, and when they're transitioning from one or the other. And give them a structure for what it should look like, and then obviously let the players express themselves within that structure. Things we're trying to accomplish: going to unify the Low Country and the Greater Savannah area market. As you know, if you've been around soccer, we don't have the population of an Atlanta, Jacksonville, Columbia, Greenville. So the more we can bring in the best kids from the area, the better it'll be for Savannah. We want to continue to grow the game. We have programs for everyone, from teeny tinies up to older kids and special needs kids as well. Work on our culture so that everyone understands that their value is not in how good they are at soccer, but who they are. And we want to make sure that our academy program, select program, are getting bigger and healthy so that we can continue to stay in these leagues. The Clear Path to Pro system has taken shape in the form of our three guys, Tristan, Grant, and Steven, who are playing and training with the League One team right now. We'd like for the players that want to play, go to a good college or the college for them, and then have our boys players move through the USL and US League Two and League One ranks. And then obviously we want to win, especially as they get older. We want to make sure that we're in an appropriate league that's competitive and that we're able to win matches. So these are some of the ways we'll accomplish it. And like I said, in the off season, the NPL directors, coaches have all been meeting and have been, developing these things and fleshing them out. I talked a little bit about the style of play and tactics. There is going to be an evaluation system in place so that if a kid wants to know why is he not getting selected to play with the League One team, or why is he not getting enough playing time, there's going to be some information so that the player can improve and continue to grow. And then that, like I said, the training session protocols are going to be very similar. The coaches have already had one session with John about the core practice, the core exercises, and then they're going to continue to have those. From the coaching perspective, we're going to work on being inspirational, transformational, honest, and energetic. And the competitive training environment, I think, is really important. Our kids have been a little soft in the past, but for them to understand that their place on their team is not going to be there just because they happen to be fast or tall, but that they got to put that work ethic in, and that we want our coaches to not be ego driven and to make sure that they're treating the kids with respect. So programs we have available, like I said, we have the little tiny kids, Sweet Feet, in 40 plus schools. That's about 2 years old. So they do it during the day or right after school. We have recreation in Savannah, and then also starting one in Hardeeville. Due to the IBIS Foundation, the first 250 kids in Savannah are free, and the first 100 in Hardeeville are for $10. So if you have any siblings or friends in that area, be sure to pass that on. Recreation is done with volunteer coaches, but with a full-time director and staff, so that we consider it to be a little bit better than the average rec experience you might have had as a kid. Pre-Academy is our first paid coaches experience, where a paid coach is training your kids. That's available in all the locations. So those are for the kids that are a little bit too good for rec, or that you just want them to learn how to do stuff a little bit faster than they would in rec. Academy is what we call our small-sided program. So that's the U8s-ish up to U12s. They play 77.99. Select is where the NPL program is. So those are the 13s through the 19s. There's 6 age groups there. So we have 6 NPL teams ranging from the 08s up to the 02/03s, where the 02s are the ones that didn't graduate. So the 02s and the 03s are mostly seniors. And then obviously we have seasonal camps and clinics, and we have those in these 4 locations: Hardeeville, Hilton Head, Savannah, Statesboro. Hardeeville being our main hub, since it's the easiest to get to from all of our locations. So 99.9% of the NPL practices are going to be in Hardeeville. This is the landscape your kid is in. The middle is what you can get from Tormenta, starting from the youngest up to the oldest. And then if you look at so 2 different governing bodies have identification programs. US Club Soccer has something called ID2, and then US Youth Soccer has something called ODP, Olympic Development Program. So either one of those your kid is eligible to participate in. In the team manager manual, I have the links for those if you want to take a look, but that's one way to get up to the national system. You start at the team, regional, national. And that was the old school process of getting on the national team back when I was a kid, was ODP. There was no other option. But now with US Club Soccer, they've got that identification pathway. And then now the US Scouts will just come to events like the USL Academy stuff. So there's a lot more ways to get seen now. Over to the left is what is unique to Tormenta in our area, is that we are a USL franchise. The pros play out of Statesboro. We have the 1 and the 2 there is what we have. So our top team is USL League 1, and then our summer team is USL League 2, and then that A down there is new. We had an event with the 03s, and then we were supposed to have an event with the 03s and the 07s before COVID hit, where all the USL franchises that have an academy program will go have a regional event. And the ultimate goal of that academy program is to have it be like a high school team. So if you're in high school, you're eligible to participate in that. You don't have to be a senior. Tormenta just picks the best kids from high school and goes and competes against other teams. And we competed very well in the one event in Florida. And then the star there is the USL Championship, and that is like the Charleston Battery. And then the step above that is MLS. So if your kid comes out of the select program, he or she could go through the college route, But now with our path to pro, you don't even have to be in college to get into the USL2 team, which is where they traditionally got people. They can be selected straight out of our sessions, and that's what the pro staff is coming into Hardyville to train the kids and identify the kids. And then hopefully we'll get some kids up to that top level pro league. So in America, it's MLS, EPL in England, Bundesliga in Germany, etc. So these are the important people you need to know about. Brad is the head of the youth side, and then I am the head of the administrative side, and then Marisa, you want to wave? I think they can see you on the camera. Marisa is our registrar. So those are the three people that, well, actually, you could probably leave Brad out of the admin side, but me and Marisa, if we can't figure it out, we'll probably have to be calling Sports Engine or US Club or somebody. Milarese is our youth technical director. Like I said, that was one of the benefits of aligning with the USL Academy program, is that the League One coach has all of these responsibilities now to be that technical director. He's also our League One head coach. Ian Cameron's going to be out. He is the lead of that academy team whenever the USL Academy goes places. He's the League Two head coach. He should be out in Hardyville at least 2 days a week, just depending on the pro schedule. Nick is going to be, he's the youth goalkeeper director. So if you have a goalkeeper, he's training them. He's also the goalkeeper coach for the two pro teams. And I left it off there. He's also the 0203 head coach. So they'll see him as well. But those are and then George is on the bottom line. He is the final pro in Statesboro, and he is our Statesboro Academy director, and he's also the assistant coach. So if your kid trains in Statesboro, George is the one that's out there. Misa for the NPL is over all the NPL directors. Jordan has half of them. Jay has the other half of the boys. And then on the girls' side, it's Miguel. And then for the younger kids that I talked about, Jeremy's in charge of the whole group. Chavez and Hilton Head, George is in Statesboro. All right, so here's where the confusion happens. There's two different governing bodies, kind of like I said with the ID2 and the ODP. United States Youth Soccer is one. When you're playing in the South Carolina Youth League, you are a United States Youth Soccer player. So we also have a league called the Piedmont Conference that is a U.S. Youth Soccer League. That's the 07s and the 05s. And then you can see the 13 through 19 U Magenta boys and girls, and then our 209s are going to be in those leagues. So for NPL, you guys are in the United States Club Soccer, which is called US Club, and the league is now called South Atlantic Premier League, or SAPL. And then we also roster our academy players in US Club. So when there's an emergency on Saturday morning and you say, can I pull up 05 goalkeeper from the Magenta team? The answer is yes, you can, but we got to hurry up and get them a club card, and that takes time. So the coaching staff is getting spare cards because the player passes don't mix. So anyone that's on the left side of the US Youth Soccer, they cannot play for your NPL team unless we buy them a US Club card. And so most of the time it's fine. But then if there's a couple instances during the season where there's an emergency, and US Club's fast, but they're not like 1 hour fast. And then like say you want them to guest play in your tournaments, all the cards have to be the same. So that's why it's important to know who is eligible to play on your team and who's not. And then when you get the player passes that Marisa gives you, and it has the 5 or 6 extra kids on there, then you know those are the only ones that can play. So I'm not going to worry about the USU soccer stuff for you guys. Just for your information, you play in your state association. If you win or we place high enough, you move up to the Piedmont Conference, which is the 07, the 05 girls. And then if you rock that out, then you can go into the National League. So this is kind of, like I said, the old school system I came under. They didn't even have the Piedmont Conference. It was like basically if you won Georgia State Athena A, you went to regionals. If you won regionals, you went to nationals. But anyway, this is the pathway that's for people that are in the USU soccer pathway. All right, skipping SCYSA. Okay, so for US Club Soccer, If you are a new team manager, Marisa is giving you a background check, safe sport, inside line sports stock things. If you are an old team manager, yours is good for 2 years. So is that done, Marisa? Is that all the new ones out? Oh, can't hear you.
I've sent an email to all the team managers that are new.
Okay, perfect.
I've only gotten back from 1 or 2. So
okay.
they need to respond to the email so I can set up their account.
Correct. Okay, yes, so this is the most time-consuming, terrible thing ever. You have to learn all sorts of stuff, and it takes forever. But don't put it off because it takes forever, and you can't get a pass until all 3 of those things are done. We use Sports Engine, and when I say we, it's Marisa. Gets the player passes, the team rosters, and everything out of that to you. And then the league uses Got Soccer, and I'll show you guys that. I sent everyone their logins a couple hours ago. So here's our team list for people that are US Club. So that's all the NPL boys on the left, and then all the academy teams, which it's 13 teams, but there's 2 teams that we have playing in SCYSA leagues, which are the 09s that I mentioned before. Okay, so that's done. Let's get out of there. All right, where's my manual? Okay. Perfect. Okay, so basically, this manual is all the things that we could think of to put in, but it's not all inclusive, and some of it won't apply at all. But it's good to refer to if you forget how to do something. But basically, the first page is what you've got to do. We're going to go over TeamSnap. You're going to email people through TeamSnap. You can do push alerts through TeamSnap. You're going to put your team schedule in the TeamSnap. So that's very important. When you guys get together for your first team meeting or scrimmage or whatever, please check the new players' phones or the new parents' phones and see that they've done TeamSnap. I'll show you in a minute if you can tell if they haven't accepted their invitation. But it is so much easier when something is lightning out to push an alert out than to try to send stuff out, or hey, there's a wreck on I-95, take this exit. It's just a good way to text everybody basically super fast. We really need the team managers to support the coach. So if a parent wants to come over to you and start complaining and say, why wasn't my player picked for this? My player's really a forward, but why is he playing defense? All that stuff, talk to the coach. And that's an easy way to get out of that conversation as well. And then the coaches can handle it. You're going to be privy to some information. I'm going to send you guys scholarship information. Just make sure that you keep that private. I'm going to do my best to send things that shouldn't be shared, like in an Excel spreadsheet as opposed to a Google document. But, you know, it's just, you're going to have access to information and money and all that stuff. So please keep that in confidence. You're going to be responsible for laminating and keeping hold of the player and coach passes. US Club's pretty easy. It's just a PDF. You print it on plain paper. So Marisa's going to set that up for you. Go to the UPS store, FedEx, print them out, cut them out. Have my kids line them up in a little order. If you want to laminate pouches, whatever, all of that can be, use your team debit card for that. Have a binder that you take to the field. That's going to have the medical releases, your roster. And if you're in a tournament, they're going to say, hey, give me the game cards, whatever. Budget we'll go over a little bit, but I'm going to help you prepare the budget, or your coach is going to help you prepare the budget. And then once that budget is done, we're going to collect the budget. I'm going to show you how to track that. And then you got to pay out tournament fees, coach fees, etc. And then register and check in the team for the tournaments. I think like with CISA, we got you guys registered because it was too early. But whatever your next tournament is, you're going to be in charge of registering for yourself. So here's the things we're not supposed to take care of: parent complaints. Basically, that we have a rule in tournament is a 24-hour rule, Because if you've just driven all the way to Greenville and your kid got 10 minutes of playing time, is not appropriate to go march across the field and talk to the parent or talk to the coach about it. And if you have a parent that's all riled up and ready to go, try to calm them down. But they can call the coach 24 hours later when everything's calmed down, no problem. So you guys can do a little bit of run a little interference for them, but we don't need coalition building and all that stuff going on. If there's any problem, bring it to the coach. If the coach doesn't take care of it, go to the director and then go to Brad. And then if it's on the admin side and, you know, your coach just isn't doing something, that would be my lane. I can certainly talk to him as well. Rosters and guest players, we really appreciate paying attention, because sometimes you know better that so-and-so has been sick for a week. And so talk to your coaches about it, but do not, the GOT soccer rosters that I'm going to show you are very difficult to, we've got to make sure that they're exactly what the coaches are expecting at an NPL day. And when we print that game card, it needs to be right. So we just, you know, don't go throwing people on there just in case and stuff like that, because they might be playing on another team, something like that. So anyway, there's my email and phone number. And then you guys can just read through this stuff at your leisure. Let's see here. The coach travel reimbursement is, I'll go over that in the, probably just go over the appendices. I think that's probably, there's nothing really in here. I think we're good there. There's everyone's emails if you need them. Let's see here. This website is pretty handy. So when you're like, gosh, I can't remember how to get into GOT Soccer, you can just go to GOT Soccer that way. And then the South Atlantic Premier League has lots of information. It's not very up to date. I was kind of hoping they would have more stuff there, but that's where you go to figure out what are the rules, how many kids can we have, what's the substitution rules, et cetera, et cetera. And then here's what I was telling you about with ODP and ID2 if you're interested in getting your kid into that program. I'm going to go over a couple other things just so you guys know. We do a fundraiser that's this A-frame pop-up, and I'm going to be emailing that out to the whole club probably Monday. But basically, if you sell a pop-up like that Tio's one, you get it costs $750, and whoever sells it gets to keep $250 for team fees. So if parents are not, or if they, you know, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how many I'll afford this. This is one way to get big chunks of money. And I'm going to send that out soon. Let's see here. That fee structure thing is on our website, but if somebody's asking you, I don't understand the difference between team fees and registration and all that stuff, there's some good information there. Travel policy with the NPL, so we travel 6 teams at a time. There's 4 coaches. So basically there's going to be 2 hotel rooms, 2 cars, and 4 coaches. And either myself or one of the NPL guys is going to figure out how much you owe to somebody. But say your coach didn't drive, then your coach, you might be giving money to another coach. But basically we take all the expenses of all 4 coaches, divide it by 6, and then that's how we tell you how much money it is. So it's actually a pretty good deal traveling in groups of 6 because it keeps the costs low. But if you're just doing a day trip, each coach is going to get $30 per diem for food no matter what. And then whoever drives gets 54.5 cents per mile. And then if it's an overnight, if they leave Friday night, they get $20, and then they get $45 for Saturday, $45 for Sunday, and then the 54.5 cents per mile. And then if they stay in the hotel, then that cost is also covered. With the NPL, we just are going to get 2 rooms and then ask you to reimburse us back. You're not going to have to reserve your own coach's hotel unless you're going off somewhere on your own, if you have a random tournament or whatever. But if you're traveling with the NPL group, we're going to do that for you. All right, so for the budget, the NPL is being really sketchy right now about when things are going to start, who's going to play when, can we play, whatever. But I'm going to put out a budget on Monday to everyone. And basically it's going to be, we need $300 per NPL team to get through August and September and the registration for any later tournaments that are due in August or September. So it's going to have the NPL league fees in there. It's going to have referee fees for 4 games, which is just a wild guess. It's going to have your tournament entry fees for whatever tournament you're participating in that have to be paid early. And then it's going to have an estimate of coach travel fees. Like I'm going to guess 2 home and 2 away. Team Snap costs $25 for the year. That'll be in there. And then, you know, I don't know. I threw it together and it looks like about $300. That should give you enough to laminate your passes. And then what we'll do is we'll do a very specific budget when we have that. And that's what that example is on the right, is every single game, how many miles is it? And then it gets divided by the multiple teams going. But for now, you guys need to figure out, how do you want your parents to pay you? So you selected it so you could accept Venmo, you could accept cash, you could accept check. I'm going to show you in Team Snap how you can accept credit card. But it's up to you. If you don't want to deal with the checks or the cash, no problem. Just tell them Venmo or credit card. But the credit card does cost money, and I'm going to show you that. I think it's like 2.99% plus a dollar. So if they do that route with Team Snap, then you're going to have to upcharge them for it so that the team gets their money. But so what I want you guys to be thinking about is when Jennifer sends out the email to the NPL teams and says $150 is due August 3rd and $150 is due September 1st, you guys are going to have to follow up and say, this is my Venmo me the money. And then like I said, if you want to, however you want to do it, you know, you use Cash App, you use PayPal, I don't care. But we're gonna have to start collecting some money because the club has fronted a lot of the costs, and we'll tell you when that needs to be reimbursed. All right, whoops, wrong way. All right, referee fees. So you guys are in the SAPL category. So whatever age group you are, this year it says in the manual that the home team pays. So I've asked somebody and I haven't heard back, but there's a chance that only the home team pays. Normal is to split it half and half, but this is how much money the center gets 60, the assistant referee gets 40 for the U13s, which would be the 08s. And then it goes, let's see here, sorry a second, it's trying to upgrade my stupid thing here. Go back to preview. Got 10 more minutes. So anyway, so this is cash that you guys are going to need for your games, depending on your age group. All right, don't worry about SCYSA. You guys are just not that. You're not that. Okay, the U.S. Club Manager Appendix, that's what Marisa emailed you if you were new. So that's that. All right, Team Snap. I got Doug's team up here, 04 boys. I highly recommend using the desktop version if you're trying to put stuff in. So right now you can see he's got some stuff put in. If you go to the roster, if you go to the roster, this is where you can see everybody. I uploaded everybody. I'm not telling you that it's perfect, so you can fix it. But this is where you can fix it because you have an admin. You can hit Add Manager, Add Player. You can edit Aiden Miller, however you want. So you have the power there. For the schedule, he's put in, looks like the CISA friendlies and NCFC. So you can put in a new game, new event. Availability is where you got to get every single kid to admit if they're coming or not coming. And so as it gets closer, you probably need to send out a reminder, but this is where we can see if we're going to have an issue. On tracking, so this is what I'd like you guys to do here, and yours is August 1st, 150, save. All right, so, all right, click off. Come on. Hello. My thing just froze up. Well, anyway, you can see back there why it won't click off. Anyway, you can track now. You can see when you get your money from Aiden, Caleb, Carter, whoever, you can check it off, and then only they can see their tracking stuff. So when they're looking at it from their side, it will just say Aiden Miller owes $150. All right, so I think that pretty much crashed on me. But if you go to the invoicing tab, that's where you can set up your account if you want to send people invoices, but you put in there that, you know, your bank account information so that it'll send you the money, but it's it'll tell you on that tab, but it's 2.99% plus 99 cents. So whatever that is, when you multiply it by 150 is how much they would actually owe you. So what else is on there? I think that's it. But basically, this is the way I like to do it, is enter it all in there. Close out of that. What's going on there? Okay, so here's the soccer and college page. I put everyone in sync. You should have gotten an email to claim your account. The login is related to your personal email address. Right now, as you can see, they have 3 million kids in here. So that's not a problem. We're gonna work on the rosters later. But what I want you guys to see here is that this is the TFC boys. This is the homepage. This is what you want to work off of. Now, if I go back to one of the teams that's going to Myrtle Beach, I think they're going to Myrtle Beach. Let's see here. Oh, there it is, Myrtle Beach. Okay, so if you see this screen in your event, you're working on Myrtle Beach. So if you fix the roster for Myrtle Beach, it is not going to get fixed on your main page. So you want to go back and you want to make sure that this is your home page. Fix everything. Oh, it still says Myrtle Beach. Let's see here. Go back. Oh. Oh no, that's right. I can click on it. Okay, so now we're back to you want to be working in your home screen. So that's the main thing I wanted you to see. And then so when we fall shootout, so when you register for our tournament and you go to apply and you register your team, all that stuff. So now you're going to be working inside our fall tournament and not sync. So that's that on that. All right, got soccer. When you go to the login page, you have to click teams and team officials. I sent that to you guys today. If you click on organizations or any of the other ones, it's not going to work. You go to log in to your team account, and Doug's, I wrote down, is Doug DeWalt. And his is 04 Boys. All right, so here is the 04 Boys account. You can click on the roster, which, like I said, is still messed up. We're going to work on that. But when you go to, you see South Atlantic Premier League, right now it's showing pending, which is totally weird. By now it shouldn't be like that. But you can go into there, click on roster, and then you can see right here that you're working on your roster for the South Atlantic Premier League. And then where it says upcoming scheduled games, you would be able to export your game card. So I wish I could show you more of the features of that, but it's not working right now because it's not done. But basically, Got Soccer is where you're going to be seeing the South Atlantic Premier League. And then there will be certain tournaments that use this as opposed to sync. So I think that's it. That's the 5-minute version of that. Let's see here. All right, who hopped on? Somebody else hopped on. But does anybody have any questions? We got 3 minutes and 12 seconds, Holly. Marissa, anything stand out that you wanted to talk about?
No, just for the new team managers, I have not sent them that last page of info. I've requested the information for them to send me so I can set up their account.
I got you.
You know, like their name and their date of birth and all of that.
Okay.
So they've received the initial email. The ones to do the background checks, I just got the prepaid codes today. So those will be going out to the existing managers if they need a new one, which they shouldn't. There's very few existing ones that need one. But because they're good for 2 years. But anyone who needs one will start getting them now.
Okay,
'Cause I got the codes.
that sounds good. Anything else? All right.
Hey, Jennifer. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
yep.
It's Mike.
Oh, hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, I hopped on a little late. I'm at the fields actually right now, but thank you for that presentation. I'm probably gonna need a copy of the recording to go back, and when I actually go to do all this, I can sort of follow along.
Sure.
You know,
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm either going to make a template thing or something for the technology part. It's not too hard once you figure it out, but it's very hard the first time. So I'm going to try to come up. I was going to try to come up with some better step-by-step stuff with Got Soccer, but none of the functionality is there yet.
Yeah, no, you've done a great job. I actually had to call Sports Affinity today to log back into my account, and it just seems like it's a little overwhelming because you got Soccer, Sports Engine, Sports Affinity. I mean, you've got so many names.
Right, exactly. And so that's for the NP, and then you obviously have kids on the other side too,
Right.
the South Carolina part. So
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge. So, all right, well, I think I have to hop off. But Mike,
Okay.
and it's going to be pretty similar at the beginning. If you want to hop back on at 7, Cynthia should have the Zoom for that.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the South Carolina version at
Okay.
7.
All right. Well, thank you very much, though. But don't be surprised if we reach out for help.
Sure. Yep. We're here for that. All right.
All right.
We'll
thank
talk
you.
to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.